What is going on, Yacht Nation? Happy Phantom Liberty month. We're just over 3 weeks away from launch, so today I wanted to get you guys caught up to speed on all the new developments when it comes to the 2.0 release date, and a massive clue that gives us the exact release window. CDPR reaffirming what they've been saying about New Game Plus, what will come with the free updates in 2.0 and what will be locked behind the paid expansion, as well as some details on new trophies and achievements, attribute resets, the future of Cyberpunk, and reviewers getting hands-on. So without further ado, let's get into all the new details. First up, we have Director of Phantom Liberty Gabe Amat-Angelo stepping into the spotlight during this final marketing push, highlighting some of the new gameplay changes in the expansion with some new segments shown off in this interview with Xbox On. Can we just stop and appreciate this man's enthusiasm? I've seen a few interviews with him. The guy is just always smiling and always brings that good energy. Okay, back to the gameplay, and I've gotta say, I think these scenes of Dogtown are the Pacifica we were expecting in the base game. As we drive through this introductory segment, the Bargas look like they have their own conflict going on with the Dogtown citizens, and CDPR has emphasized that these random events will be more present not only in Dogtown but throughout Night City. So expect to see more police chases, more gang violence, and a reactive world similar to what we're seeing here. It's hard to get a gauge on the AI improvements in this new gameplay, but Idris Elba's character Solomon Reed can be seen supporting you in this scene here. And visually speaking, the game is just blowing me away. With DLSS 3.5 coming for PL as well, Cyberpunk is really going to be a visual treat for those of you with higher end GPUs and PCs especially. They also show off the new infinitely replayable dynamic missions here, with some vehicle combat, which will be issued by the fixer El Capitan, as well as the vehicle combat in third person using a few of the new car-mounted weapons, which we'll talk about a little bit later on in the video. All I really gotta say about the vehicle combat is I'm not gonna lie, recreating this scene from the diner after my vehicle's doors get blown open is gonna be oh so sweet. I'll leave a link in the description if you guys want to watch the whole thing, but this should get you very excited about what's to come. For those of you who are kind of confused as to what is free versus what will be paid when Phantom Liberty and Update 2.0 roll out over the next few weeks here, CDPR has created this neat little infographic to help you differentiate. In the free 2.0 update, we have redesigned trees and perks, revamped cyberware and the new capacity system, vehicle combat and car chases, combat AI improvements, the new police system, UI and UX improvements, loot items and crafting changes, as well as the new radio stations, including Growl FM. I do want to comment that Darkstar will be the name of one of the new other stations, and that the crafting tab in the menu is no longer there based on what we've seen. Very happy about the potential crafting changes here, since investing points into these skills in the base game wasn't really the ideal way to approach this in my opinion. On the paid side of things, coming with Phantom Liberty, we'll have the new district of Dogtown featuring the new story and characters, new quests, gigs, boss fights, and more, vehicle missions and airdrops alongside the new dynamic events, the relic skills, 100 new weapons, cyberware, cars, and fashion, the vehicle mounted weaponry, and the level cap increased to 60. Okay, so the burning question here is, when the hell is 2.0 actually coming? CDPR has been very silent about it, but there is a massive hint based on the new system requirements for the game that actually gives us the release window. In an update on June 11th, 2023, CDPR released the new system requirements for Phantom Liberty, and also mentioned that, quote, these changes will take effect following the next update to the base game, no earlier than 90 days, and will also apply to Phantom Liberty. We know Update 2.0 is also coming out before Phantom Liberty, so 3 months from June 11th is September 11th, and with patches usually dropping on Tuesdays, which would be the 12th, this is likely the release date other than September 19th, which is the following Tuesday, which may coincide with the lifting of the embargo for reviews. So September 11th is the earliest date, and with the 12th and 19th being the most likely dates. It also does beg the question on what review copies will entail. Is it purely the expansion story and new district, aka the paid side of the infographic, or is it more likely both free and paid features? There will also be a ton of small little undocumented changes, which we'll all get to know a little bit better when we have 2.0 and PL in our hands. Speaking of review copies, CD Projekt Red had an investors call a few days ago, and I highlighted some of the standout points on my Twitter. Yes, I'm still calling it Twitter. So if you want the latest as it happens, shoot me a follow there. And while you're at it, subscribe to the channel for more Cyberpunk content as we run it up to 100k. Okay, anyways, let's go over all the high-level details from this investors call. First, it does seem like the Phantom Liberty team has seen a small dip, as we do enter the pre-release window from 350 devs to 300, which is still the biggest team overall. The Polaris team, as a result, has increased their team size to 260. Remember, Polaris is the latest installment in the New Witcher trilogy. Polaris will be getting the bulk of the devs, but there are also members who will support Orion, Cyberpunk sequel, Hadar, CDPR's completely built from the ground up new IP, and of course post-launch support of Phantom Liberty. QA for Phantom Liberty was addressed on the call as well, which is still being conducted and is using internal and external resources. If you guys remember, there was a lot of controversy about the company that CDPR had contracted to do the QA for the base game, Quantic Lab. Higher-ups within Quantic had allegedly lied about their size and their employees' experience. Allegedly, in the team of 30 contracted to do QA, only 10 people actually had QA experience. Anyways, QA for PL is in its final phase, and let's just hope there's no base game repeat here. We've also entered the most intense phase of marketing for Phantom Liberty, and within the next few weeks, review copies will be distributed according to the call. Speaking about the future, CDPR mentions that much of the team has Unreal Engine experience, and I'd say that's probably pretty important knowing that they will be dropping Red Engine for all their titles beyond Phantom Liberty. This is also the reason why 2077 will receive no new expansions after PL. It's because of the technological decision to use Unreal Engine going forward. The LA studio that CDPR has will be, for all intents and purposes, moved to the new Boston studio, and the Hadar IP is progressing with a small team that's building out the framework for the universe. Remember, this is CDPR's first crack at creating a game and universe without an existing IP to base it on. Cyberpunk had Mike Pondsmith's universe and tabletop game, and The Witcher had the Sapkowski novels. Okay, moving on, let's go over some quick facts that CDPR has reaffirmed in the last few weeks that I've been seeing a lot of questions on. When it comes to New Game Plus, there are still no plans for this. You will be able to reset your attributes once per playthrough after the 2.0 update kicks in, and new trophies and achievements will only be added to Phantom Liberty content, not 2.0 content. If you guys have been paying attention, you might have caught this collaboration between David Padziadzlo and CD Projekt Red to promote Phantom Liberty in some way or another at one of his concerts. You can see the outline of Kurt Hansen, Dogtown's main antagonist, as well as V, so keep your eye out for some new music in the build-up to PL. David, for those of you who are unaware, created the outro track to Edgerunners called Let You Down. Also keep your eye out on September 20th, where we'll be getting an over hour-long vidoc on the development of Phantom Liberty from ARD. And yes, this will also be available in English. Well then, I'm off to play Starfield, thanks to Bethesda for the early key to play during the early access week, and I'll be having some of my thoughts live in the next few days, as someone who's never played a Bethesda game ever in their life before. As always, for more Cyberpunk content just like this, do consider subscribing.